now for our next speaker, we have Jamie Herbert.
Jamie Herbert, the barefoot nutritionist. Jamie will be talking about finding the balance within the matrix and Mother Gaia. Please welcome Jamie Herbert to the stage.
Everybody in the house go, whoa! Whoa. Everybody in the house go, whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa. Oh, there we go. I'll just move back in a little bit. So, excellent to be here. Thank you very much. When I first got asked to do this talk, I asked questions. The spirits, the guides, and you always get answers and you always get questions. So the first answer I got was, what am I going to speak about? It was, how about this? What about the balance between the matrix and the Gaia? I was like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, I can run with that one. I'm good with that. I'm good with, not good with the matrix, not keen on the matrix. However, I'm involved in it, I live with it. I'm really cool with Gaia. That's where I want to be. If I got offered a penthouse on the beach at Kira, $1 million a year, or you can have 200 acres and a cave and spring water, I'm going for the cave. There's plenty of food out there. Everything I need is here. She's got it all sorted. All my food, all my medicine. There's so much food just growing in our backyards. Everything is put here for us. So I'm really cool with the Gaia thing. I'm just going to throw Christine a bit of a plug here. In 2010, I moved back to the Sunshine Coast to be with my daughter for the last 2 years of school, and I got heavily involved into plant-based nutrition, plant-based health. It was all about the plants, it's all about Mother Nature. Don Tomlin came into the feed, Christine Matheson came into the feed. We spoke a couple of times on the phone. I was so impressed with Christine's book, I bought 5 copies and gave them out. So if you've got issues, absolutely, it's an amazing book, and Christine's an amazing lady. Everyone here's an amazing people, so I've had so much information given to me this morning. This has been awesome. They've been feeding me lots. So the balance between the matrix and Gaia. The matrix, I don't like the matrix. The matrix is a system, like a society, to help it grow and transform. Now, the matrix that we are involved in, the question I got asked when Spirit said, how about this? They said, at what age? I was like, well, that's a good question, you know, like what age do I find a balance between the matrix and Gaia? I've always been in Gaia, I've always known there was something wrong. I had a Thai trainer once tell me that every 10 years you can live a new lifetime. Every 10 years our life will change. It's our transgression, it's our rites of passage. So at 20, my balance between the matrix and Gaia was completely different to what it is now. Age is such a beautiful thing. It's such an amazing teacher if you're listening and you're in the moment. And that was just said about, I can hear you, but am I listening to you? So a bit of focused listening goes a long way, especially with this Gaia, because we've been shut down so much. So at 20 to 30, the matrix and Gaia separate a little bit because the balance was way out. Gaia was down here. Surfing, sex, drugs, and rock and roll was high on the agenda, and it was party time because that's the nature of the beast, and that's what we do. 30 to 40, children came in, so the balance again shifted. Gaia's still down here. Now the focus is more on children, family, working hard, getting ahead, which is difficult to do in the matrix, especially the matrix that we've been brought into. We have very, very little control over here at the moment. The whole thing's being manipulated. We could go on for hours here about the matrix and the way.
20 minutes, Jamie.
Yes. I'm going to use up somebody else's 20. Yeah. So our matrix at the moment, it needs to be put into a balance of where the matrix is and the reality of it. The reality of this matrix is It is run by corporations. Governments are corporations. They're all registered around the world. Queensland Government, Queensland Government Corporation, Queensland Treasury Corporation, Police Force Corporation, Ipswich City Council Corporation, Brisbane City Council,
Her Majesty the
Corporation.
Queen Corporation.
Corporations. They're all corporations. I hate to be the one to break this to you, but it ain't about you. It's a big club. We're not invited. The whole thing is about making as much for them and keeping us controlled. How do I find a balance in that? I have to have a permit to do this. I have to have a permit to do that. You got a lease on your dog. Have you got just the whole thing? There was a thing came up recently about sovereignty, and Shane Potter, actually, the police commissioner or whatever he is in Victoria, recently put a post around this COVID-19. I have no doubt there is something going on there. People are getting sick. However, 0.0002% death rate across the world, something else is going on here. We could go into the white hats, Trump's, the new Republic of China, removal of Queens, all sorts of stuff. I've been down that rabbit hole a long time, won't go into it. I'd love to, but this whole thing about this matrix is designed to keep us controlled and remove us and segregate us from who we are. We're a frequency. There's no doubt that we are a frequency. We operate, the whole world operates on a frequency. There's a balance of frequencies. If the frequencies are out, we're out. You'll find a lot of times just the wind, a strong westerly wind, will throw you out of whack. The frequency gets played up a little bit. So we have to play that game. Now, the reality is we're in here. If I want certain things in my life, like a car, electricity, water, getting around buying clothes, then I have to play the matrix game. That is the reality of that. The depth of the reality is totally personal choice. This is my circus and this is my monkeys. The sovereignty thing came up with Shane Potter. He said we've had a lot of trouble with people not towing the line, not putting their masks on. We've had to break windows in cars to drag people out. We find that behaviour unacceptable. I was like, yeah, which one? You dragging the people out of the car or them not wearing their masks, mate? And he goes, they claim sovereignty, whatever that means. So for everyone here, and for Shane, I'll break this down for you. Sovereignty has a couple of meanings. If you're on the other side of the fence in the big house, the sovereign means you're the Lord, you're the manor, you control everything else. On the other side of the fence, sovereignty comes from two words, the adverbs, Latin words, adverb super, and the noun regnum. Super meaning above, regnum meaning rule, reign, regency. So sovereignty from the other side of the fence means above rulership. Nobody has an authority, jurisdictional right to rule over anything I do if I'm not intentionally interfering with anybody, physically, psychologically, emotionally, or financially. If I've committed no crime, and I'm not committed fraud, I haven't disturbed the peace, I haven't disturbed someone's physical being in any way, shape, or form, nobody has jurisdiction over me. For Shane, that's Shane Potter. And I have no jurisdiction over anybody else. So my sovereignty I hold very, very, we were born free entities to this planet. Every one of us was born free. No one I know has signed a contract with the corporation. The corporations run on contracts and litigation. I have never signed a contract turning over my rights, my freedoms, my inalienable rights to a corporation to tell me what to do. Not once have I ever done that. Having said that, if you don't have any work and you need social security and you need help from that corporation, then you enter into an agreement. The corporation says, I'll give you the money in return for that gift I require you to do this. And that's a contract, whether you're personal, private, you have entered into a contract. Apart from that kind of contract, I've never entered into a contract for them to have control over my life in any way, shape or form. I do believe we all have the right to travel on carriageways freely, without restraint, without restriction. If we're not do no harm. Treat people the way you'd like to be treated, speak to people the way you'd like to be spoken to, keep a balance in our relationships. It was just an interesting discussion about focused listening, attentive listening. Very difficult to do. A lot of people are always, while someone else is talking, they're thinking about the answer they're going to reply. I'm going to throw my father in the deep end here. He hears me talking, but he's not listening to me because he's going to ask me the same question 3 times. And it's just that he does hear me, but he's not focused on what I'm saying. So we're bombarded by this matrix at now at every turn, especially at this point of time. And in 2020, it was touted in 2019 that this is 2020 vision, this is what we're all going to see. And that kind of went to shit for a little while in the first few months of this year. However, in the last few months, and I've been down this rabbit hole for a long, long time now, about the pedophilia in governments, the money people running the world, people like George Soros running Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and the Obamas, the Clintons, and the Bushes being in cahoots with people, and the lies, virtually everything that we have been told and educated on has been a fabricated lie for the agenda of whoever these people are that are running the world and keeping us and treating us like complete morons and idiots, which I don't appreciate. I do tend to get a bit antsy with stuff like that.
Oh, really? Tell us what you really think, Jamie.
I'll save it. I'll save it.
Yes, I agree with it 100%.
Someone told me once I had attitude. Are you serious?
Take a look at the mirror, mate.
Yeah. I'll get Lifeline's number for you. They care. Bring them. If I'm not interfering with anybody. So with this, I'm going to throw this in about the matrix at the moment, and particularly the white hats and Trump. I'm just going to throw something at that blue clip thing here. Since that administration, we're going to leave Trump out. If that administration took over, we have not seen Al-Qaeda. We have not seen ISIS. We have not seen the terrorist bombings that we have seen. We've seen troops withdrawn. We have seen worldwide a lot more peace around the world. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, he's going to drop bombs. Trump went over, shook his hand. How you doing? Bang, they're mates. Uncle Vlad, I like Vlad. Uncle Vlad, same thing. China, same thing. That's all coming into balance. So the 2020 vision is now starting to come up with the fake news. Everything we've been told is lies. People are starting to wake up all over the place rapidly, like a wave coming over us, which is so important for us as a collective humanity. I do believe, and at times I do have attitude and I do get antsy, but I do believe in essence, in heart, we are here for service to others. We grow, and that's our whole being, to be here anyway, to grow and to learn. We are here to be of service to others, and we're here to be united, not segregated, not black and white, not Chinese and white, not rich and poor, and just the whole segregation of the whole thing where we don't talk, we don't communicate. And we see this right now at this point in time. Don't hug anybody. Don't go near. Stay 1.5 metres apart. I don't know who came up with 1.5 metres, but apparently viruses can't jump 1.6 metres. 1.5 to kill. So this whole thing about, so people have actually, a lot of people enjoy the little bit of distance. They don't mind the lockdown to a degree because it's given them time to come back inside. And this is one of my things with the matrix, that we've been told it's out there. It's in the ether. And it is not out there. It is in here. All the answers we want are in here. It might start here, and I'm pretty sure most of them aren't my thoughts anyway. They're downloads. And I don't get downloads anymore. I just get this constant streaming. So, unlimited. Yeah, constant streaming. How long have I got?
You've got 4.5.
I've got 4.5 hours left, so everyone get comfortable. So how do I find my balance in the matrix to where I want to be, to where I desire to be, where I long to be in Mother Nature? I went the corporate road. I had a nice 3-piece suit, pinstripe suit. It was on a lot of money, and I've worked on construction sites and all sorts of stuff. But it's not giving away a couple of houses and had lots of money and had no money and had to go and borrow money. The thing that I realised was the thing here beautifully put before about letting go. Just like that. Everything will work out. Everything. What's her name? Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. One of her biggest things, one of Abraham's biggest things, everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you.
MLTY.
MLTY. Everything is always working out for us. So how bad I think it's been, how low I've been, it worked out for me. It's always worked out for me. And I guarantee, if you're in a really, really dark, nasty place and you can't think you can get out of it, if you say to yourself half a dozen times, everything is always working out for me, everything is always working out for me, no shit, everything will work out for you. It's just think a better thought. Another one of hers is think a better thought. I'm feeling shitty. Someone's pissed me off. I ain't happy. It's not my secret. It's not my monkeys. Give them a hug. Tell them to go away. Or you go away. But everything always works out for you. And if you're thinking a bad thought, just think a better thought. Well, it's a nice day. It's raining. How lucky. Oh, it's been raining for 5 days. I can't even see that. I haven't got my glasses on. And we're in front of time. We've got time. So, all right. So, how do I get my balance with that when I'm so desire of we can do better. As collective, we can do better. And there's always going to be us and them. That's just the way it is. That's the balance. There has to be that balance. My grandmother told us, many colours make it the quilt. Many colours make a beautiful quilt. We've got a beautiful quilt here. And we are supposed to be an integrated. The planet might as well be a city. In the universe, we're a city. Ukraine's a suburb. Russia's a suburb. Australia's a suburb. America's a suburb. South America, it's a suburb. We're all in the one city on the same planet. How do I integrate that? I spend as much time walking in the bush, getting away. Even if I'm up the backyard, I don't take anything with me apart from my shorts and pair of shorts and my dog. But I ground myself regularly. I speak to myself regularly. I remove myself. I don't worry about money. Money always comes to me. It's coming, just keeps coming because I need it. So she goes, here you go, you need money, here's some more money. Let go. Just if you, it was said before, so I've had so many beautiful lines here today. If you don't worry about your bottom line, how you're going to do it, and your marketing, and oh my God, if you let that go, you release all that stress. And as long as you're following your passion and you're following your life, you will be fine. Stress is a major killer, probably the #1 killer of all of us, because what are we worrying about? Money. Like, really? It's going to come to us. If this plays up, if this vehicle of mine plays up, where am I going to live? It's my #1 priority. I love you all. I love everybody out there. But this is about me. I'm really, I hate to be break it to you. This is about me. If I can't look after myself, and she's supplied it all I have to do is go and pick it and prepare it and eat it, I can't look after anybody else. because I'm out of balance, I'm out of sync, I'm out of vibrational frequency where I'm supposed to be. I have to be belligerent with that fact that I have to look after me first. And if that's what it takes, and if people are unhappy with that, and I'm not interfering with you, give me a hug. I'll put the sign away, Christine. give me a hug and go about your way. But if you've got stress in your life and you're worried about something, endeavour at your most to put it away and just come back into yourself. And everything will always work out for you. And then your thoughts will be better. If your thoughts are better, your heart's better, your gut is better, and your head will be better, everything will work in. So that's pretty much me. I've got signs getting thrown at me. So, all right, much love.
MLTY, Jamie Herbert.
Hey. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, do we have any questions for Jamie? Okay, no worries. Please, far too long.
Tracy.
Jamie, excuse my ignorance, but could you just explain to me if Mother Gaia is Mother Nature? Are they similar?
Gaia was Mother Earth. I have a foundation, a not-for-profit foundation that I operate through UNCONDITIONal Kingston here. And I call it Ibu Bumi Foundation. And I spend a bit of time in Indonesia. And Ibu is Mother, Bumi is Earth, so Mother Earth. So Mother Earth is Gaia. Yeah. And everything that's connected with that.
Did I know that's something that when the Constitution was so-called written in whatever land that we're owned by, we're not really owned by us in Australia.
No.
And if we wanted to set up our own community and say we, like somebody did in Perth, we set
The
up
principality in
the
Perth.
principality, yeah, the principality. Whether that is still legal or whether they've changed the Constitution.
Oh.
They can't change the Constitution without a referendum.
Oh, okay.
However, sorry, no, you go.
No, you go.
They've tweaked that. You know, our Constitution, American Constitution's the same, you know. I know more about American politics in the last 8 months than I know about Australian politics.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to really know about New Zealand because she's dangerous out there.
Yeah, so
8 months ago, she was the darling of the world. Now it's like, you've been hanging out with Hillary Clinton too long, Bill.
yeah.
Shutting stuff down. So the Constitution has been tweaked, and it's tweaked their way so that, no, you can't do that. You can't go off and live on your own. If you want to build a 3 square metre deck on your property, you have to ask us. Well, I've got a thing for you. Well, it's in my pocket. Like, back it up. Yeah, don't go pushing too hard. You know, don't put me in a corner. I'm coming out.
Yeah.
You know, but they have tweaked that. You can't even do that. You know, to what do they call it?
So-
Multiple occupancy.
Yeah. So what I believe to be true is that the Constitution can't be tweaked. The Constitution is overridden with other people, man-made legislations, acts and rules that people are in misbelief of that's what it actually really is, because they haven't read or studied or really found out the real truth about it. So the Constitution still stands, okay, and always will be until there is a referendum. Until that day, if people don't stand up and speak their truth and don't subject to the fear, it will continue.
In America at the moment, there's a movement called 3%. So it's 111 percentage. And my understanding is that when America was trying to get its freedom and its constitution together and its sovereignty, whatever it was, away from the rest of the nations that had gone there, because they'd always been ruled over by lords or barons or dictators. And they went, no, we're not going to have this anymore. There was only 3% of that population that stood up and went, no, we're going to form the United States of America, 3%.
Yeah.
Now, I've got this thing here in Australia. Going down one on your own or 200 people or 2,000 people, you're not going to do anything. And that's history now, and that's a fact. You can watch it. It's over and over and over again. Until we get to the point, if we had 1%, we've got 25 million people in Australia. 10%, 2.5 million. 1% is 250,000 people. If we got 1%, just 1%, say we got 0.5%, 0.5% of the people in Australia to go down to Canberra, 125,000 people. You'd gridlock the city. We go down with papers. with human rights lawyers and constitutional lawyers. We put it all together and we go, can I expand on this just a little bit for everyone here?
Yeah, go.
All the countries in the world, yeah, there's a thing called a political mandate. And a political mandate is where the constituents grant the authority to party or parties to represent them. 3 key words there. I grant you the authority to represent me. Right? We've lost that idea. These people, and for that representation for me, so if I engage the services of Michael here and go, I'd like you to represent me. For that service that you're representing me with, I'll supply you with a big house in Canberra, I'll supply you with an office, I'll supply you with a car, I'll supply you with a driver, I'll supply everything you need to represent me.
The institution.
I remunerate him. If I engage someone to represent me and then remunerate him from, he works for me, he's an employee. If that happens to me, I'm his employee. These guys are our employees. Until we get to the stage where we get 0.5% of the population, you go down there and say, Scott Morrison and all your dirty, grubby mates, your employees, I've had you up to here, here's the papers. General so-and-so from the army is going to be installed by the people. The police don't work for the government, police forces. The armed forces don't work for the government. They work for the people. The government are the people who are the paymasters. We pay them. Until we get 0.5% of people to go down and go, okay, you're done, you're removed, put the package down, you're not getting your package, you don't get $300,000 for the rest of your life, you can line up and get on the dole with everybody else, but they're employees. Until we get it through our head collectively that they're employees and we go down, we're the boss. And we go down and we go, this is the way it is. And I do believe that we could even have a council of 300 citizens. And it's like a jury duty. If you want to be on the jury duty, everyone, you get a database of people who are like single mothers, lollipop workers, single fathers, bricklayers, chippies, clairvoyants, astrologers, every spectrum of society, unemployed, employed, homeless. And we have 300 people, and then we have our employees in the big house. And then we sit, and if they want to do something, they put it to the council of the citizens. And they stay there for 12 months. And every 12 months, that citizens' council gets rolled over. And then we make the decisions about how it's best based for us on 300 different factions of society and humanity. But we break it down and we support each other. And we tell them what to do. Until that happens, I can't see anything else changing. The ancients did it. They always had their councils. They'd sit in teepees or they'd sit around and they discuss it around all of the people in that community.
So just on that note, so we have the employees of the employers. So the actual aspects, when you step back and look at it from a third person, is it's the grantors, the trustees, and the beneficiaries. Okay, the grantors are the living, breathing. The trustees are the establishment, and the beneficiaries are us that are getting benefits from the institution or the establishment because we've allowed and given our power away as the grantor. And that pretty well much sums it up.
Yeah,
Well, it basically all comes to money, doesn't it? Because back in the day, when it wasn't.
It's not money, it's power.
Okay, well, money
Great.
is power.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
Yeah, what I find very interesting is the fact that they're sending out, it's not even constitutional, they're sending out fines and arresting people, and yet,
Good, great
how
point.
do you know, for me, if I got a fine for so-called breaking the law because I walked out of my house in Melbourne without a mask or something, or went 55 or 7 Ks or something beyond my house to go and buy my groceries instead of the 5 that they tell, and they give you a big fine. I would have thought under the Constitution right now that you can't, you go into court, you fight and go into court, you should win because it's not constitutional to do that.
So when you go into court, okay, so when you fight, you're in fear.
Yes.
Okay, so you can't fight the good fight because there is no good fight.
No, that's right.
Okay, so when you're going into a court, you need to understand that the jurisdiction in a court is not of a constitutional court. It's of an admiralty court. Okay, so it's the law of the sea. Okay, so when, and this is going way off topic, and if you want to talk about more, I'm more than happy to, because I specialize in this space. So when you step into a court, you then come under a jurisdiction of the judge, and then that's when they say, all rise. Okay, because now you're honoring somebody that is higher than us in a community space, but it's not a community space, it's actually a part of a ship. And they had to bring the law of the sea onto the law of the land to have jurisdiction. And we love Jamie Herbert, and thank you so much for bringing up these topics. Yay! And it's been such a lovely listen to, reminiscing. Now get out of here.